Moringa has been called the miracle tree because it helps so many different ailments, including speeding up your hair growth. Now, I have more than one video on Moringa, but today I'm talking about the updated science and breaking down exactly how Moringa can work for your hair care and how you can use it. So let's start with talking about why Moringa is so hyped. It is considered a superfood. I don't really like that word, but yeah, it's considered a superfood because it contains iron, zinc, vitamin C, and amino acids, which are all nutrients that are associated with healthy hair. And moringa for hair growth is both internal and external, and I'll get into a little bit of that later. Let's get to the second thing about moringa you need to know for healthy hair growth. Recent research has shown that moringa can actually help reduce follicle stress. Now, healthy follicles are at the scalp, and if your follicles are not healthy, that means your entire hair shaft won't be healthy. At least with unhealthy ends, you can just cut them off and your hair will continue growing healthy. But if your follicles are damaged or unhealthy, the whole hair shaft is damaged and unhealthy. Moringa can also help fill the gap left by iron and zinc deficiency since it's high in these two ingredients as well. It works directly and indirectly by nourishing the scalp if you put it on your scalp, but also indirectly if you ingest the moringa because it can help nourish your scalp and your follicles from the inside. Oh my gosh, power just came back. We had no power. I'm just going to take some cookie dough out of the fridge so that I can bake some cookies as a treat for filming these videos. That's my cookie dough, white chocolate macadamia nut. All right, my cookie dough is out of the fridge. Let's continue. So like I said, you can use moringa internally and externally. Let's start with how you can use it internally because we know that if you are healthy overall in your body, your hair will be healthy. And then externally is like a second step. It's not the first thing you should go for. So the great thing about moringa is the ingredients are extremely bioavailable. So like as soon as you ingest it, it doesn't have to like break down and go into all these different processes. Your body absorbs all the nutrients pretty quickly. And there's multiple different ways you can ingest it. There is moringa tea, which is very popular. To be honest, I don't like the flavor of moringa tea. It almost has like a sourness that I don't like. Like I drink it sometimes, but it's never my first choice. It's just like, I can do without it. Also, you still have like a little bit of the powder left over. I like to consume all the moringa. But what I do like is the actual moringa powder. So anything where it can just get masked in the food is what I usually use it for. So I usually have some kind of like yogurt and granola. I will put the moringa in the yogurt. You literally don't taste it because it is a superfood. You need very little. So I usually have like, I would say a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of moringa every single day, depending on the day. Sometimes I have it more than once a day. So I'll put a little bit of powder in my yogurt. Sometimes I have like baked oats. If I'm having baked oats, I will put some moringa in there, like just wherever I can throw it in where I won't even taste it. I just throw it in there. If I drank smoothies or had like smoothie bowls or anything like that, I would just throw it in there, but I'm not a smoothie girl, so I don't do that. There are also moringa capsules, which I would never take because unless it's really necessary for me, I hate swallowing pills. So if there's a version of me to not swallow the pill, I will take that. That's why I have the powder. But if you don't want to taste it, you don't want to put it in anything, there are moringa pills available as well. And those are the main ways you can ingest moringa. Now, the second way is externally. Combining moringa oil with a scalp massage is a great combo, and I'm pretty sure you can buy moringa oil online, but it is so easy to make as well. And if you only want to make a little bit, you can even just make an amount for a few uses. I'm talking about like a tablespoon or two of moringa oil. I will actually include how I make my 2-ingredient moringa oil in the video right now so you can see how easy it is. The first ingredient you need is moringa leaf powder. All you need is half a tablespoon. Add a tablespoon and a half of your favorite oil. I'm using olive oil, but you can use a lighter oil from the thicker oils like avocado oil, or you can use a very light oil like camellia oil or jojoba oil. Whichever oil your hair likes best, use that. And all you need to do is incorporate it well because moringa is slightly hydrophobic. Mix it very well into the oil and then put, whether it's glass, ceramic, try not to use something plastic. put that container in a bowl suspended of hot water, hot enough to burn you but not boiling, and let that oil sit for about 20 to 40 minutes or until the water cools down. And you'll notice that it's incorporated because the oil will be very lightweight, and by then it would have absorbed all the nutrients. You don't need to microwave it. Please do not microwave it. And you don't need to put it in a pot or anything like that because you don't want to denature any of the nutrients. Once that's done, you want to sieve it, and I'm using a tea strainer because the holes are very, very tiny. So find the smallest sieve that you can find so that no big particles of moringa can get through, because you don't want any of that to be stuck in your hair. So you just want to move it around because the sieve is very fine. You have to force a little bit of the oil down, and whatever's left over will be this like clumpy, gloopy leftover. You can just throw it away. It's only half a tablespoon. And this is the oil done. You just need to close it in an airtight glass container, preferably. You can put it in a dropper kind of bottle, or you can put it in this kind of a bottle if you have other droppers, so you can just get it from a different bottle and use it to apply. This is what a close-up of the oil looks like. It still has tiny, tiny little specks of moringa in it. They don't feel rough, they don't stain your hair, they don't get stuck in your hair. However, as you can see, this is a pretty dark oil, so if you have very light hair, whether it's just a light color or gray or blonde, you might want to apply something else. And that's how easy it is. Very easy to apply, very easy to use, perfect for everyone, and you can find the best way that will work for your own hair type. And because you're making it yourself, you can choose whichever carrier oil you want to make sure that it is perfect for your hair type and your scalp. Now, if you're wondering which one is better, internally or externally, as you see, I think they work best together. Do the one that you can be the most consistent with, but whenever you can do both, just do both. It is so easy. Now let's talk about a few myths and truths, okay? The first myth is that, like any hair product out there, whether it's rosemary, tea tree, rice water, there's always this thing of, oh my gosh, it's gonna make your hair grow 1 inch overnight. Your hair is gonna grow so fast. Listen, if you're looking for those kinds of crazy results, you're better off going for something like a minoxidil. Unfortunately, it will have more side effects, but even with a minoxidil, you're not gonna get hair growth results overnight. That's just not true. Your hair is just not capable of doing that. It's not like our heads are full of hair, like one of those old dolls where you pull the hair out and then it just grows faster, right? Your hair is growing from a follicle. So yes, you can stimulate things to make it grow faster as your genetics can possibly allow, but you're not gonna see 1 inch or 2 overnight. That's just not true. What it will do is support a healthy scalp. It will support the lengthening of your hair growth cycle. It will help reduce breakage and improve your thickness over time, okay? Not instantly. It will also work best if you try and keep a consistent diet, but more importantly, when it comes to specifically the moringa topically, use it consistently. If you don't use it consistently, even if it could give you the most amazing results from anything you've ever tried in your life, if you're not consistent, nothing's gonna happen. Now let's talk about a little bit of the science behind moringa oil, or just moringa in general for hair growth. I will put the links to some of these studies in the description box below so you can read them. So in the first study, moringa showed anti-alopecia effects in a rabbit. It was a moringa seed oil at a 12.5%. It also significantly increased the hair length, thickness, and even weight of the hair. And it was compared to a standard finasteride sample, which is something else that's similar to minoxidil that helps with hair growth, which is medical grade. But the reason why I'm sure a lot of people gravitate to more natural ingredients is because while they might work slightly slower, they have less side effects. And then of course, scientific studies have also shown that it is a big source of vitamin A, C, E, iron, zinc, and omega-3s, which are all amazing for hair growth. All these helped promote sebum production, which helps with a naturally moisturized scalp. It helps improve oxygenation and follicle health, and it helps provide antioxidant protection and oxidative stress and inflammation on the scalp. Some emerging clinical reports have even claimed that moringa has helped boost the number of hair strands by 25% when taken as a supplement over the course of 6 months. Now with this one, I just want to reiterate that as humans, you are born with the exact number of follicles you ever have in your entire lifetime. So like if you are born with 100,000 hair follicles on your scalp, you will never develop any more follicles. However, you might have some damaged follicles, some dormant follicles, many follicles that are too much in the shedding phase. So if your hair density increases by 25%, it doesn't mean that you got 25% more follicles. You just have 25% more hairs growing out of those follicles. Now, speaking of that 6 months timeline, let's talk about what you can expect when. In the first 30 days, you should notice that your hair feels stronger and you're experiencing much less shedding. In the first 60 days, you should start to notice your hair looking fuller and a visible difference in length, at least to you. Maybe other people might not notice it, but you should be able to notice that your hair is longer as well. And then in 90 days and moving on, you should see an overall improvement in health, thickness, and length of your hair relative to your own hair density and your own hair type. But like I said earlier on, this will only work if you are consistent. Take it as many times a week as you can internally. Use it on your scalp at least once a week. Keep up with your overall hair growth and hair health as well. If you're using Moringa but you have terrible sleep, you're not eating well, everything else is just a mess, you may see a slight difference, but it won't be significant. Consistency is key. Sometimes I actually like to maximize on the benefits of Moringa by mixing it with other beneficial hair growth ingredients when I'm using it topically, like rosemary oil. And if you want to see a video on how I make my super powerful hair growth oil that incorporates peppermint, Moringa, olive oil, you can watch this video right here. Hit my face right there to subscribe if you didn't in the beginning. Hit the bell so you get notifications every single time I post, and consider joining my membership if that seems interesting to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!